My dear brothers and sisters, take a deep breath with me. Slow down. Just for a moment. Let your heart settle. Because today, I want to talk to you about something quietly draining your energy, your peace, your focus, and your purpose. Something that so many people struggle with, yet very few acknowledge until it becomes heavy, too heavy. Overthinking. You know that feeling when your mind refuses to rest, when one small thought becomes a mountain, when one comment someone made keeps replaying, when one worry turns into 10, when a simple decision suddenly feels like an exam, when fear of the future becomes a daily companion, and when your heart feels tired even though you haven't moved. And I want to ask you gently something that maybe no one has asked you in a long time. How long have you been carrying these thoughts alone? How long have you been battling conversations that only exist in your head? How long have you been replaying the past or worrying about a future that hasn't even arrived? My dear listener, overthinking is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that your heart is overwhelmed. Your mind is tired and your soul is seeking stillness. Allah tells us in the Quran, in Surah Ar-Radid, verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. This is not a poetic statement. It is a solution, a direct, divine guidance for a restless mind. So let me ask you again, when your thoughts race, where does your heart turn? To the problem or to the one who controls the solution? Pause for a moment and reflect. Think of the last time you overthought something. Maybe it was a message someone didn't reply to. Maybe it was a mistake at work. Maybe it was a fear about your health, your finances, your family, your future. Maybe it was a comment someone made that kept echoing in your mind. Did your overthinking make the situation better? Did your anxiety bring clarity? Did your worry solve the problem? Or did it just exhaust you? This is the nature of overthinking. It drains, it magnifies, it paralyzes. It takes a small spark and turns it into a fire, not because the spark was big, but because the mind kept feeding it. And I want you to know this truth. Not every thought that enters your mind deserves your attention. You would never open your door to every stranger who knocks. So why do you open your heart to every thought that appears? There is a beautiful hadith where the Prophet I said, Allah has forgiven my ummah for the whispers of the soul as long as they do not speak of them or act upon them. Do you know what this means? It means not every thought is meaningful. Not every thought is a reflection of who you are. Not every thought deserves to stay. Some thoughts are simply whispers, passing clouds, not reflections of your identity, your faith, or your worth. Yet overthinking makes you believe that every whisper requires analysis, decoding, and panic. Let me share a simple, modern example. Imagine a sister who posts something online and one person comments negatively. Even though 50 people praised her, she fixates on the one comment. She thinks about it all day. She rereads it. She wonders why they said it. She imagines scenarios. She rewrites conversations in her head. She feels upset. She doubts herself. And the entire day becomes heavy. But what changed? Nothing external, only her thoughts. Now let me ask you, how many of your days have become heavy because of thoughts that were not even true? Overthinking steals your present moment and replaces it with imagined problems. It takes away the sweetness of your relationships because you are busy analyzing instead of connecting. It takes away productivity because you are thinking instead of doing. It takes away peace because you are living in fears that haven't even happened. And this is why Allah repeatedly reminds us in the Qur'an, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. And whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for him. Indeed, after hardship comes ease. These are not just verses. They are antidotes. They are anchors for a drowning mind. I want you to pause here and ask yourself, when was the last time I said, Ya Allah, help me let go? When was the last time I trusted Him more than my anxious thoughts? When was the last time I remembered that Allah sees what I do not see, knows what I do not know, and cares for me more than I care for myself? My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes the mind overthinks because the heart under remembers. When you forget Allah, you remember everything else. Every fear grows, every worry expands, every uncertainty becomes a threat. But when you remember Allah, you gain perspective. You see your worries through the lens of His wisdom, not through the lens of your fear. Let me give you another relatable example. A brother loses his job. Immediately, the thoughts begin, what if I never find another job? What if I can't support my family? What if this is a punishment? What if everything falls apart? And suddenly, the man is paralyzed, not by the situation, but by the imagined disasters that his mind created. Yet, if he pauses, breathes, remembers Allah, and trusts that the one who provided for him yesterday can provide for him tomorrow, everything changes. Because Allah says in Surah Tawakkul, and whoever has taqwa of Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him from where he does not expect. My dear listener, do you know what this means? It means relief comes from places you cannot see. Solutions come from paths you never imagined. Provision comes from sources you never considered. But overthinking blocks you from seeing these doors. Sometimes the blessing is right in front of you, but the noise in your mind blinds you. I want you to gently ask yourself right now, is my problem truly big? Or is my overthinking making it look bigger? Is my situation truly hopeless? Or is my heart just overwhelmed? Is the future truly frightening? Or is my fear louder than my faith? These questions soften the heart. They quiet the ego. They realign your perspective. As remember, your mind is not designed to carry what only Allah can handle. Every time you overthink, you are trying to take control of something that was never yours. So let me remind you of a beautiful hadith. The Prophet said, if you were to rely upon Allah with true reliance, He would provide for you as He provides for the birds. They leave hungry in the morning and return full in the evening. Do you realize what this teaches us? The birds do not overthink. They do not wake up panicked about provision. They take action. They leave their nests. But their hearts are not attached to fear. Their trust is complete. And Allah honors that trust. Imagine how your life would change if your trust in Allah was stronger than your fear of uncertainty. Imagine how light your chest would feel, how calm your mind would become, how peaceful your days would be. Overthinking destroys you slowly, but trust rebuilds you immediately. Now, let me ask you a heart-centered question. something only you can answer. What is one thing you have been overthinking for too long? A relationship, a decision, a job, your past, your future, your worth. Say it softly to your heart. Acknowledge it. And then whisper, why Allah? I leave it to you. This is the beginning of healing. This is the beginning of inner peace. This is the beginning of intentional living. Because the moment you surrender your thoughts to Allah, your heart begins to rest. And when your heart rests, your mind follows. This is the secret so many people overlook. Overthinking is not cured by thinking more. It is cured by trusting more. Trusting Allah, trusting His timing, trusting His mercy, trusting His plan. My dear listener, your life is too precious, your purpose too meaningful, your soul too valuable to waste on thoughts that lead nowhere. Let your mind breathe. Let your heart rest. Let your soul remember. And let Allah take care of what you cannot. My dear brothers and sisters, before we continue, I want you to take another deep breath, not a rushed one, a slow, intentional one. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts pause. Let your heart return to the present moment. Because the second part of our reflection today is about something even deeper. How do we break the cycle of overthinking? How do we reclaim our peace? How do we turn our restless mind into a calm heart anchored in trust? And yes, this is possible. No matter how long you've struggled with overthinking, no matter how heavy your thoughts feel, no matter how many nights you've been awake replaying the same scenarios, transformation is possible. But it begins with awareness. Awareness of your inner state, awareness of the voice you listen to, awareness of the thoughts you allow to grow. Allah tells us in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Hashr, O you who believe, fear Allah and let every soul look to what it has put forth for tomorrow. Do you know what this means? It means pause, reflect, notice, become aware. But awareness is not the same as overthinking. Overthinking pulls you into fear. Awareness pulls you into clarity. Overthinking drains you. Awareness empowers you. Overthinking keeps you stuck. Awareness helps you grow. Let me share a simple example that many people experience but rarely talk about. A young man sends a message to someone. Hours pass. No response. Deep inside, a thought appears. Maybe they are ignoring me. Another thought follows. Maybe I said something wrong. Another. Maybe they don't value me. And suddenly, the mind creates a whole story, none of which is based on truth. The next day, he gets a reply. Sorry, I was busy. And all that emotional pain, all that anxiety, all that fear was unnecessary. My dear listener, how many times have you punished your own heart with assumptions? Allah warns us in Surah Al-Hujurat, avoid much suspicion. Indeed, some suspicion is sin, because suspicion does not punish others. Suspicion punishes you. It exhausts your heart. It burdens your mind. It distances you from people. And worst of all, it distances you from peace. And peace is what we are all seeking. So how do we begin healing? The first step is letting go of the desire to control everything. This is one of the biggest sources of overthinking. You want to control outcomes. You want to predict the future. You want certainty in every step. You want guarantees before taking action. You want reassurance before making decisions. But life is not built this way, and faith is not built this way. There is a beautiful hadith where the Prophet said. If something befalls you, do not say, if only I had done such and such, then the outcome would have been different. Instead say, Qadarallahu wa ma sha'ful. Allah has decreed, and what He wills, He does. Why? Because clinging to if only destroys your peace. It traps you in the past. It feeds overthinking. It makes you believe you could control what was never meant for you. Let go of this burden. You are not responsible for outcomes. You are responsible for effort, for sincerity, for intention, for trust. And Allah is responsible for results. This realization alone can free your mind from so much noise. Let me give you a real-world example. A young woman applies for a job. Days pass. She begins to overthink. What if they don't like me? What if I fail the interview? What if I'm not good enough? What if this affects my whole future? But then she remembers a verse. Perhaps you dislike something and Allah places in it much good. Surah An-Nisa, and suddenly she breathes. Her heart softens, her mind quiets, because she remembers that her future is not in the hands of an interviewer. It is in the hands of Allah. The second step to healing overthinking is strengthening your relationship with Allah. When the heart feels empty, the mind becomes loud. When the heart feels disconnected, the mind becomes confused. When the heart feels distant from Allah, the mind becomes unstable. Overthinking thrives where remembrance is weak. And this is why Allah repeatedly invites us, remember me and I will remember you. Surah Al-Baqarah, call upon me, I will respond to you. Surah Ghafir, and your Lord has not forgotten you. Surah Duha, to my dear listener, do you realize the power of these words? The one who created your mind, the one who understands every fear inside you, the one who knows the unseen, the one who manages the universe, is telling you, I am here. Talk to me, seek me, trust me. You are not alone. Sometimes all your mind needs is one sincere dua, whispered from a tired heart, one moment where you say, why Allah, calm my thoughts. Why Allah, purify my heart. Why Allah, guide me to what brings peace. Why Allah, protect me from what distracts me. There is a beautiful hadith where the Prophet taught us to say, O turner of the hearts, keep my heart firm upon your religion. This alone shows that stability of the heart, and by extension, the mind comes only from Allah. The third step to healing is being present. Overthinking pulls you into the past, into regrets, or into the future, into fears. Faith brings you into the present. Right now, you are safe. Right now, you have breath. Right now, you have enough. Right now, you have Allah. Let me give you another relatable example. A mother sits with her children, physically present, but mentally far away. She is worried about bills, about deadlines, about responsibilities. Her mind is racing. She is in the room, but she is not really there, and she misses moments she will never get back. Not because of reality, but because of thoughts. Now imagine if she pauses, takes a breath, says, Alhamdulillah for this moment, and returns to her children. Her heart would soften. Her mind would settle. Her presence would become a blessing. Overthinking steals life from your life. Being present brings it back. The fourth step is setting boundaries with your thoughts. You do not have to entertain every thought. Not every thought deserves your time. Not every thought deserves your fear. Not every thought deserves your energy. When a negative thought appears, you can say gently but firmly, this is not from Allah. This does not bring me closer to Him. These thought does not deserve my attention. The Prophet taught us that when a whisper enters the mind, we should say, Odu billahi mina ash shaitanir rajim, meaning, I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed shaitan, because sometimes the thought is not yours. Sometimes it is a whisper meant to distract you, unsettle you, or weaken your trust. And the final step is taking small, consistent actions. Overthinking makes you believe you need a perfect plan. Faith teaches you that you only need a sincere step, just one. You don't need to fix your whole life today. You don't need to solve every problem. You don't need to figure out the entire future. You just need to choose one action, one step, one intention, one quiet moment of trust. Let me share one more example, something so many people struggle with. A person wants to start praying consistently, but their mind begins, what if I fail again? What if I'm not worthy? What if people judge me? What if I can't maintain it? But the truth is simple. Allah does not ask for perfection. Allah asks for sincerity. He asks for effort. He asks for a heart that turns back to Him, even if it has turned away 1,000 times. And when you take that step toward Him, He comes to you with mercy, ease, and peace, because He promised, whoever comes to me walking, I will come to him running. Hadith Qudsi, my dear brothers and sisters, your mind may be tired, your heart may be heavy, your thoughts may be loud, but you are not broken, you are not hopeless, you are not alone. Sometimes overthinking is simply a sign that your soul is calling you back to Allah. It is inviting you to trust Him, to remember Him, to surrender to Him, to breathe with Him, to live with Him, to walk with Him. Your peace will not come from analyzing everything. Your peace will come from trusting the One who knows everything. So tonight, when you lie down, instead of replaying old memories, instead of creating imagined fears, instead of worrying about things beyond your control, place your hand on your heart and say, Sesbun Allahu wa nimo wakil. Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Say it slowly. Say it with meaning. Say it until your breath softens. Say it until your tears calm. Say it until your heart believes it. Because once your heart believes it, your mind will follow, and when your mind follows, overthinking loses its power. My dear listener, you were created for more than worry. You were created for purpose, for peace, for light, for connection, for worship, for presence, for meaning. Do not let your mind pull you away from the life Allah wants for you. Step into trust. Step into calm. Step into remembrance. Step into intentional living. And step into the beautiful truth that Allah has not abandoned you. Not for a moment, not for a breath, not for a heartbeat. He is with you. Closer than your thoughts. Closer than your fears. Closer than your worries. Closer than your own self. And when Allah is with you, overthinking no longer destroys you. It becomes a reminder to return, to reconnect, to rise again. My dear brothers and sisters, if this reminder touched your heart, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more reflections that bring peace, purpose, and spiritual healing. May Allah grant you a calm heart, a clear mind, and a soul anchored in trust.